2 years ago in this very gym at North Penn High School, Coach Dave Torresani sat to the left of the scorer's table, leading the North Penn Knights to an impressive season that put them in the District 1 playoffs. Tonight, he's on the other side, struggling through a mediocre season with the Abington Ghost. It's the old against the new tonight on North Penn Television. Pleasant good evening, everybody. Along with Jason Payne, I'm Kyle Berger, and tonight is a rematch of last year's District 1 playoff game that sent the Knights to the state playoffs. And it almost feels like a playoff atmosphere tonight, Jason.
Well, definitely. These two teams played each other in the playoffs. And with the large crowd you're going to see tonight, the North Penn Knights and Abington Ghosts are really going to have an advantage if they get the crowd on their side.
Well, speaking of playoffs, 2 years ago, these two teams met in this very gym in the first round of the District 1 playoffs. We're going to take a look at some of the highlights from that matchup. North Penn got off to a quick lead thanks to the sharp shooting of David Hall, and they went into the locker room at halftime up by 6. There you see the score, 33-27. Keith Dinkins was the man for Abington, jamming this one home. He lit up the crowd with that dunk. But North Penn just took over with their three-point shooting. We'll see Jay Jamison, one of North Penn's 1,000-point scorers, draining this long-range three-pointer, bring the crowd into the game, and North Penn just never looked back from there. Mike McKenna, the only player left from that team on varsity right now, made that three-pointer, and another one from Jay Jamison. That one just ignited the crowd. North Penn, as I said before, never looked back in that one. Coach Torresani in the striped shirt right there in the middle of that huddle led his team, and this was the play of the year in high school basketball. David Hall, watch this. Oh my, it doesn't get any better than that. The 360 basket with the foul, blew crew out in full force. North Penn wins by 13 and moves on in the District 1 playoffs. So the Ghosts were spooked by the Torresani-led Knights. But anyway, we're back now at 1998, and Abington is not as strong as they'd like to be tonight, Jason.
Well, one of their best players, Steve Downs, he has a stress fracture on his right ankle. He will play and start. And they're going to miss one of their senior co-captains, Mike Sullivan, tore an ACL. So we're going to see some new faces from Abington, but this is an athletic team.
Well, the Ghosts are a good athletic team, as you said, Jason, but North Penn should be able to run with them tonight.
But definitely, with Abington missing missing Sullivan and a hurt Downs, Abington's going to have to rely on some of their bench players, and North Penn's going to have to work on the boards and really run at these good Ghost guards.
Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups.
For the visiting Abington Ghosts, number 15, Adam Kabanoff, number 24, Maurice Warren, number 30, Ed Moore, number 42, Steve Downs, and number 51, Matt Hosel. For the North Penn Knights, the usual lineup of number 10, Pete Christopa, number 21, Mike McKenna, number 23, Jay Joseph, number 30, Mike Hauser. We have a change. Number 50, Mike Riley, does get the start in place of John Brucker.
Yeah, John Brucker, we talked to Coach Fergus before the game, and basically just for a little bit of a disciplinary reason, Brucker's going to take a seat on the bench tonight. He might see some limited action, but don't expect to see too much of number 40 out on the court for the Knights tonight. Tonight's officials, Terry Schoen and Tom Brady. Promises to be a good matchup between two similar teams. Opening tip-off is next on North Penn Television. Stay with us.
Let's use this piñata to show why kids under 12 don't belong in the front seat.
Hey, that piñata looks like me.
Really? I hadn't noticed. Hey, look, Vince. Candy.
Yeah, all jawbreakers.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your kids in the back seat.
They've given our generation a label. X. Generation nothing. They say we have no sense of purpose. They say we have no war to fight and no cause to believe in. Who are they? Join the thousands of us who are making a difference and wear a label that does mean something.
Billy wants to work on airplanes when he grows up. Maybe one that you'll fly in. Now, would you like this free booklet of simple ways you can help improve his education? Call 1-800-96-PROMISE.
Math, a four-letter word, right? Hey, you don't need that. Why design the world's newest chips? When you could be flipping the world's oldest burgers. Hey, wait a minute. This is math. Geometry, algebra. No pocket protectors here. But you're cruising without math. Yeah, right. Take a good look. That's math staring back at you. not a problem, man. It's an answer. Call NACME. We'll tell you what you need to do.
Welcome back to North Penn High School, getting set for the opening tip-off between the North Penn Knights and the Abington Galloping Ghosts. Each come into this game with a 9-9 record, standing at 500, right in the middle of the District 1 pack. Looks like it could be a tight race to the playoffs this season, Jason.
Yeah, talking to Coach Fergus before this game, he said this is an odd year where a lot of teams with lower records and closer to 500 records will get into the playoffs. Last year they were a 17-7 with the 11th seed.
So off the tip-off, the ball goes out of bounds. Abington ball in the dark jerseys going from right to left on your screen. North Penn in the home whites going from left to right. Abington will get the ball. Maurice Warren, the 6'2 senior guard. It's matched up against Mike McKenna. North Penn going to an early zone defense. Warren from the foul line, no good off the rim. Rebound by Steve Downs, playing with that stress fracture ankle, the no-look pass. To the lane, the dish, Downs from the baseline. Air ball. Hauser pulls it down for the Knights, and Jay Joseph comes up. Jay Joseph has been in double figures in basically every game the past 2 weeks. He has really turned it on for the Knights.
Jay Joseph, a guy who can do a lot of things, work underneath the boards, work from the perimeter. We'll see what game shows up tonight.
Pete Christopa will send it over to Joseph. Now Mike Hauser, who played an excellent game despite losing to CB East. He held Brian Scott, who averages 23 points a game, to 11 points on the defensive side of the court. So Hauser has been playing well for the Knights as of late. McKenna dishes to Hauser. Thought about a three. Now the fade away from the baseline. No good. Ball loose on the floor. Abington picks it up. Here comes Maurice Warren. Good pass down low. Ball knocked out by Christopa, and picking it up, Jay Joseph. No scoring yet. Just a bit over a minute into this game. McKenna will send it out to Christopa, now Joseph. Hand check by Warren, no call. Christopa circles out. Riley, who got the start for Brucker tonight. Christopa spots up for three, no good. Riley gets up for the rebound. Good job by Riley. Down low to Hauser, the spin. The shot no good, pulled down by Matt Hosel, the 6'6 sophomore, matched up pretty evenly with Mike Riley tonight.
Well, Mike Riley's stepping into the starting lineup could be a big key with a little height advantage on Downs. We'll see what kind of game we get from from Riley underneath the boards.
There's a long three-pointer, no good off the glass by Ed Moore. McKenna pulls the rebound. 2 minutes into this game now, still no score. Knights and Ghost, 0-0.
Knights not able to run yet, just working out of the half-court set against Abington, who's playing a man-to-man defense.
McKenna working against tight defense from Kabanoff, gets doubled down, back to Hauser. Christopa, the baseline drive. Ball goes out of bounds off of Abington's Steve Downs. So it will remain North Penn basketball, 5:38 on the clock in the opening quarter. Glad he could join us on North Penn Television tonight along with Jason Payne. I'm Kyle Berger.
Both teams starting out 0 for 3 from the field. No points yet. As you see McKenna pull up for a nice jump shot for 2.
So the first points of the ballgame belong to the Knights and Mike McKenna, 2-0. North Penn on the board, a minute and a half into this game. Jay Joseph still has control of that basketball. Thought he was going to lose it for a minute there. Now it's McKenna against Kabanoff. The tough drive. He'll kick it back out. Christopa thought about the three. Possibly got away with the charge. Now he takes the three. No good. A little long. Warren pulls for the Ghosts. That is a definite charge. Good call by the official on the far side right there. Terry Schoen all over that one. So North Penn gets the drawn charge by Mike McKenna against Maurice Warren. So after Christopa got away with probably a charge on the other end of the court, the Knights draw a charge, so it will be their basketball.
Another big key here for the Knights is turnovers. When in games that they don't turn the ball over and force a lot, the Knights win handily. McKenna throws a ball away there that they can't afford.
That's one thing we saw against CB West last Friday night, Jason. I mean, every time North Penn got a turnover, they gave the ball right back to the Bucks. They can't do that against the Ghosts tonight. Tough shot in the lane, no good by Downs. Christopa comes away with it, pushes for Hauser, and there you go. Once again, another turnover. This one picked off by Adam Kabanoff. Now it's Warren with 4.5 on the clock. Down low, Downs. Double and triple team, no good. Very short with that one. Christopa, another board for the Knights.
Downs, we mentioned in the pregame, his right ankle there's a stress fracture. He's missed 3 shots, and Christopa throws another ball away. That's 3 consecutive turnovers for the Knights.
Foul called down low on Mike Riley. That's his first, the team's first. Timeout called by the Knights, a 20-second timeout, only 2-0. 1 basket so far in this game. It's Mike McKenna's. 4:09 on the clock in the opening quarter.
These two teams combined are 1 for 10 from the field. McKenna with the only bucket. And we've seen on 3 straight trips down to the court for Abington, they've gone down low for Downs on the post, and he hasn't been able to make any shots. Riley has a nice advantage on him, and they're doubling down on Downs. Downs is going to have to kick it out and find some open shooters from the outside. For the Knights, they bring the ball across midcourt, and they turn the ball over. They don't even get into their offense. So the Knights need to calm down with their offense, and Abington needs to go away from the post-up.
Abington basketball after that timeout. Downs, the turnaround in the lane, no good, rolls in and out. Thought he had that one. So the score remains 2-0 midway through this first quarter. North Penn did get off to a bit of a slow start against CB East on Tuesday, down 15-8 after the opening quarter. But they still have the lead here. McKenna, the fadeaway, no good. Riley a little too aggressive with that pull, and the rebound goes to Dave Brooks, who just checked into the game for the Ghosts. Here is Brooks working against Mike Hauser. Joseph almost gets a steal. Now Downs in the lane has taken the bulk of Abington's shots, but took a couple too many steps right there, and it's another turnover. North Penn basketball. Downs slightly favoring that right ankle, but he appears to be okay.
Well, every time Downs gets the ball in the post, they double him down, and he has no place to go.
Hauser to the baseline. He walked as well. So once again, North Penn turns it right back over to the Ghosts. I'm talking about injuries for the Ghosts. We already mentioned that Steve Downs has that stress fracture, but they're already missing one of their best players. Sullivan, he's out with an ACL tear for the rest of the season.
Well, he's a senior co-captain. He's a good perimeter shooter for the Abington Ghosts, but they will miss him for the rest of the year probably with that ACL.
Here's a three-pointer airballed by Dave Brooks. He'll hear it from the Blue Crew as Mike McKenna brings it up. 3:05 on the clock in the first quarter.
Score is still 2-0 North Penn, as neither team really getting too many good looks at the basket.
Yeah, really not a lot of inside looks. Abington's had a couple, and Downs has missed most of them. Here, a rejection by Dave Brooks on Pete Christopa. 2 3-inch height advantage for Brooks. He's not going to put up with those kind of shots. Abington is finally on the board. 5 minutes, 20 seconds into the opening quarter. Ed Moore getting the basket.
Actually, I think that one went to Maurice Warren.
Oh, that was right. I'm sorry, Jason.
Yeah.
So the score is 2-2, 2.5 on the clock in the first quarter.
Maurice Warren looks to be a little bright spot for Abington, being able to penetrate in the lane. Joseph hits a three-pointer there. Blue Crew really likes that. But I was talking about Warren, how he's been able to get good looks driving to the basket. We'll see if they go back to him.
Here's Downs, loses the ball, down low, kicks it out. Kabanoff for 3, air ball. Goes right to Joseph, he's gonna push. He'll pull up and drive again to the lane. No good off the rim. Dave Brooks gets the rebound, pushes it up. Basket is no good by Ed Moore. Joseph pulls that one down. Minute 45 on the clock, 5-2 Knights over the Ghosts here at North Penn High School.
For the Knights, number 42, Justin Hughes, is going to check into the game on the next stop. And number 51, Matt Hosel, will check back into the game.
McKenna misses the long 3. Jay Joseph's going to get called for an over-the-back foul, looking for that rebound. That'll be his first and the Knights' second. coming out of the game to take a breather. Steve Downs for the Ghosts and Pete Christopa for the Knights, as well as Mike Riley as Ted Stratton checks into the game. And talking to Coach Fergus before the game, as he said, John Brucker will see limited time tonight. Look to see a lot of time out of Justin Hughes and Ted Stratton.
Well, Justin Hughes is a guy who can give them a little in-between position, more like a small forward, can play a little bit on the inside and rebound, but he's a good perimeter shooter.
Maurice Warren clangs that one off the rim. Ball on the floor. Possibly a walk. Ball still loose on the floor. Rolls out of bounds. Abington basketball, much to the chagrin of the Blue Crew. They thought it was North Penn basketball, but with $1:14 on the clock in the opening quarter, Ghosts will take over. They trail by 3 as Tom Parentozzi will come into the game for Jay Joseph.
So North Penn has put a smaller lineup on the floor, taking Riley and Joseph off and bringing Parentozzi and Stratton in.
Now Abington does still have the 6'6", number 51, Matt Hosel still in the game. So we'll see if they can utilize the height advantage. Here Moore goes cross court to Hosel. Good look down low. Ball stripped by Hauser, but getting it right back was Dave Brooks. He gets the putback 5-4 under a minute in the first quarter.
Good second effort there by Brooks. North Penn looking to run a little bit as Hughes is going to miss the easy look.
They got a great pass there from Ted Stratton. Couldn't find the handle on the basket. So 5-4 still the score, 40 seconds to go. Kabanoff. Bounce pass down low. Hosel looked like he walked, no call. And Moore gets away with possibly a push-off and puts that one in. 6-5, Abington in the lead for the first time tonight.
A little correction, that was Dave Brooks on that turnaround for Abington.
20 seconds left on the clock. 6-5 as North Penn almost turned the ball over on the full court press by Abington as Hughes comes out of the game quickly after missing that layup, and Pete Christopa will come in.
Abington looking to press a little bit in the full court, cause some turnovers, but a good break by North Penn.
Stratton turns the ball over. Kabanoff bounce pass. Here comes Moore to the basket, rejected by Mike Hauser. Now Christopa. Oh my, this is from way downtown at the buzzer. No good. Not much he can do there. He had the accuracy, just not the distance. So after one quarter, 6-5, Abington leads by 1. Not much you can say about that first quarter, Jason, just pretty ugly.
It was pretty sloppy play by both teams, a lot of turnovers, and I think both teams made a big mistake in that the other team played bad and they weren't able to capitalize on the mistakes of the other team. I mean, Abington turned the ball over a lot and the Knights didn't score, and the Knights turned the ball over a lot and Abington didn't put them away with it. So they go into the second quarter with Abington goes in with a 1-point lead, and we just had 5 buckets from the field go in, no free throws in the first quarter.
Yeah, only 3 fouls total in that first quarter, and really, I mean, as you said, Jason, both teams played poor in that first quarter. If one team took advantage of the other, we could easily have a 10, 12-point lead for either team, and I mean, you see turnovers left and right by both teams. Coach Fergus for the Knights and Coach Torresani for the Ghosts just can't be happy with that first quarter.
Well, and it was on plays where there was no need for a rush. You know, the Knights would bring the ball over across half court, get in their half court offense, and just make a bad pass and make bad decisions. I mean, they need to slow down and work a little harder here in the second quarter in not making easy mistakes.
So a total of 11 points on the board for both teams. 6-5 the score. Abington in the lead as number 22, John Connor, has just checked into the game. Remember calling the Abington North Penn football game. John Connor, we mentioned his name a lot. He had almost 200 yards rushing as he gets the basket and the foul. So Connor quickly on the board. Basket will count. That foul is against number 24, Tom Parentozzi. His first, the team's third. Connor will go to the line and shoot 1.
Good move by Connor underneath the basket. Pump fake, gets Parentozzi in the air, goes up with the shot. Fortunate to get the roll off the rim, and get the bucket and the foul.
So the left-handed Connor makes his free throw. 9-5 Abington with a 4-point lead, the largest of the ball game for either team. Abington quickly to the full court press. Ball on the floor. Parentozzi does get it to Hughes. And once again stripped away. North Penn's going to have to break this press if they're going to win this ball game.
North Penn's going to go back to Joseph and Riley coming back in the game.
Ed Moore, the bounce pass down low. Connor There's going to be a reach-in foul called against North Penn. Foul is on Tom Parentozzi, his second, the team's fourth. And a myriad of subs coming in for the Knights. Riley, Joseph, and Hauser replacing Stratton and Hughes and Parentozzi. So 9-5 the score, 7:23 to go in the first half. Steve Downs looked like he went up and down, no call. Now here's a three-pointer, no good off the rim by Moore. Connor making an impact in this second quarter, just in the game, already scored 4 points. 5 points after that free throw. Hauser gets it across midcourt. Here's Joseph one-on-one, pulls up for the J, no good. Rebound is pulled by Maurice Warren.
North Penn needs to capitalize off those good looks. It looked like they had a 2-on-1 if he would have waited for Riley.
Over the back foul will be called against, I believe, Maurice Warren, number 24. And it is. That's Maurice Warren's second and Abington's second. So just over a minute into the second quarter, and it's 11-5, North Penn yet to score. Here comes that trap press again. Abington has 4 out of its 5 players on North Penn's half of the court. Joseph. Now Riley and Christopa will control. McKenna gets a shot to the face. Nothing called. He does recover. Hauser working against tight defense by Dave Brooks. Now Christopa will reset. Riley at the top of the key. Christopa to Hauser on the baseline, working against 4 Abington defenders. Turns it over out of bounds. Abington basketball as Kabanoff checks into the game, replacing Maurice Warren, who goes out with 2 fouls. So North Penn has still yet to score in the second quarter. So they've come out pretty much dead in this game. Hauser does pick off the steal. He has a free path to the basket, and he hits the left-handed layup. So North Penn gets its first 2 points of the second quarter, 11-7, a 4-point lead for the Ghosts.
Well, no, it came off of a good defensive play.
Nice layup right there by Steve Downs. 13-7 now the score.
Abington still pressing a full-court press, and the way to beat a full-court press is look deep. And you see Jay Joseph is all by himself down court.
And here is Joseph on the baseline, trying to send it cross-court to a wide-open McKenna, but good anticipation on the defensive side of the ball by Dave Brooks. Knocks it to John Connor, and here comes Brooks. Tipped by Christopa. He's got the free path to the basket. Up and in with the layup. 13-9. North Penn back within 4 points. Long pass. Eludes Steve Downs. Goes into the air, but throws it right to Christopa. Now McKenna pulls up, thought about the 3. Now Christopa to the lane, kicks it out. Hauser from the baseline for 3. Air ball. But it goes right to Christopa, and he can't make the layup. 5 minutes left in the first half. 13-9. Abington up by 4.
North Penn needs to capitalize on those transition moves.
That is a 2-pointer for John Connor. Had his foot on the line. So 15-9, a 6-point lead. Hauser will use that long pass to get by Abington's press as Jay Joseph hits the 8-foot jump shot. 15-11 now, 4:35 to go in the first half.
John Connor, a bright spot here for the Abington Ghosts. They're going to call a timeout here, probably a 20. John Connor is a little light here in the darkness. He's perfect 3 from 3 for the field and has hit 1 from 1 on the free throw line to lead the Ghosts in scoring off the bench.
So definitely a good athlete in John Connor. As you remember, you played against him and he pretty much ran all over you guys. He did manage to pull out that win against Abington in that football game, but John Connor is only a junior, so we'll have to see more of him on both the football field and the basketball court next year.
Well, he's just a great overall athlete, and that's when you're able to apply basketball skills in football games and football games and football skills in basketball games, and that's the kind of player John Connor is. He's a tall, quick guy, and he's been able to work underneath on the North Penn guards.
Abington basketball as we come out from that 20-second timeout. North Penn going to a press. Christopa called for a hold. That'll be his first, the team's 5th, so North Penn only has 1 foul to give as Abington only has 2 team fouls. 4:30 to go in the first half. John Connor will bring it up against Christopa. He's doubled down. He'll go cross court. Kavanaugh steps behind the three-point line, but McKenna came over quickly to prevent that shot. Good call by the official as Steve Downs took a couple steps. He's traveling North Penn basketball.
Coach Fergus had a lot of respect for Steve Downs' game of Abington, said he was one of their best players, if not the best. But this injury, I think, has really hampered him on his post-up game. Maybe thinking about that ankle a little bit.
McKenna gets a pick from Riley. Can't find the shot. Goes back to him in the corner. He'll circle back to the lane. Hauser, he walked. Of course, Hauser trying to get that step-up head fake. Couldn't find it as he gets called for the walk. So the score remains 15-11. 4 minutes on the clock.
Good defense here by the Knights, forcing a turnover off the inbounds pass.
Hauser kicks it back out to McKenna. North Penn needs to capitalize on some of these turnovers, get some points on the board, and get a lead before halftime. Christopa goes to the lane, is given the lane, and gets the shot. Good job by Pete Christopa finding the open lane as North Penn will go to a press now. 15-13, Abington up by 2.
That's a walk, but they don't
got away
call
with it. Here comes Hauser to the basket, puts it up. And we have ourselves a tie ball game, 15-15. North Penn on a little run here as this press has paid dividends for the Knights.
That's 2 straight turnovers for the Knights, converted into points.
John Connor went way up for that one, and so did Riley. Riley is called for the foul, his second, the team's 6th. Connor will go to the line and shoot 2 as Dave Brooks gets ready to check back into the game for the Ghosts. As Ted Stratton and John Jameson check into the game, replacing Riley and Hauser respectively. And Steve Downs will take a seat on the bench as he's been pretty much ineffective tonight on 1 of 5 shooting, only 2 points for the forward for Abington.
Well, the only foul shooter of the night for either team has been John Connor as he goes to the line for the 2nd time tonight. He is now 1 of 2 with that miss.
So Connor has a chance to put the team in the lead, and he does. 16-15 the score, Abington by 1, 3:20 on the clock. As really John Connor has turned out to be the leader for the Ghosts tonight. I mean, we've seen Sullivan as Christopa takes a 3 and misses it. Sullivan, of course, out for the season with an ACL tear, and Downs rendered pretty much ineffective tonight for the Ghosts. Connor has stepped up and has done an admirable job for the Ghosts tonight.
That's right, and they need him to play a full game. He just can't be a first-half wonder for Abington.
Wide open, 3-pointer air ball. Ed Moore, as Joseph is called as stepping on the baseline. Another turnover, Abington basketball. So they got away with an air ball on a 3-pointer, which is pretty much a freebie by Ed Moore. Ball goes out of bounds off of Joseph, and it's Abington basketball.
Well, I know why they left him open. He's 0 for 3 for the night on the 3-point line.
Moore will kick it way back. John Connor will take over. Almost getting the steal was Joseph. Tough to the basket, no good. Rebound and the putback is by number 32, Dave Brooks. 18-15, a 3-point lead for the Ghosts. 2.5 to go in the first half.
Christopa going to get the play from Coach Fergus and run the half-court game.
McKenna thought about the 3 with Kavanaugh in his face, did not take it. Ted Stratton kicks it out to Joseph. Now Jameson will not take that 3. North Penn really tries to set up the 3-pointers a lot as rejected by Matt Hosel as Mike McKenna. He goes back strong to the basket, gets it to go off of Hosel, and will be North Penn basketball. Number 14, Aaron Holmes, a 5'9 junior guard, checks into the game, replacing number 22, John Connor, who goes to the bench with 8 points for the Ghosts, the game-high score. McKenna for 3, very short. Hosel gets the rebound, puts it right back into the hands of Mike McKenna. Stratton, the long-range baseline jumper, yes! 18-17 on Stratton's tough shot from the baseline, under 2 minutes to go in the second quarter as Holmes dribbles it off his foot out of bounds. The Blue Crew gives him a well-deserved round of applause for that.
Well, North Penn making a mini run here with good defense and forcing turnovers. But they gave up a couple easy baskets that allowed Abington to keep North Penn from shutting them down.
Stratton, the fadeaway, no good. Jameson tried to swat that back to Stratton, but could not. Kavanaugh picks it up, 90 seconds to go. in the first half. Hosel kicks it into the corner. Holmes. Now Kabanoff thought about the three, did not take it. Tight defense by McKenna. Errant pass, picked up by McKenna. Can he save it? No. Abington basketball as McKenna goes 8 rows into the bleachers. Good hustle by McKenna, but to no avail as John Connor comes into the game replacing Holmes, and Justin Hughes will come in replacing Ted Stratton, I believe. No, Jay Joseph. 18-17 the score. Abington up by 1, a $1:17 on the clock. Abington will inbound. Ed Moore sends it back to John Connor. Matt Hosel against the other big man on the court, Ted Stratton. He'll just kick it back to John Connor. Now a minute on the clock. Tough shot by Connor, high off the glass, no good. Hosel, the rebound and the putback, skying over the North Penn defense.
Well, that's his first shot of the night, and it's good. And I think that's where Abington needs to go now. They need to work on Ted Stratton since he's an inexperienced player for the Knights.
McKenna kicks it back to Stratton. Now Kristopa will fake the drive. Jamison under the basket, does draw the foul, does not get the basket, but with 39.3 seconds on the clock, will go to the line and shoot 2, as that foul is against Dave Brooks, his first, the team's 3rd. So with the Knights trailing by 3, Jamison with a chance to get the Knights back within 2. He misses the first one.
This may be where North Penn misses John Brucker the most. He's a guy who usually gets to the line 6-7 times a game. This is the first trip in the first half for North Penn to the line. And, they don't have a big, aggressive inside banger on the court now. So they're going to really have to work on their half-court and transition game to win this one.
Jamison 1 of 2 from the line, so North Penn back within 2. Connor will send the long pass to trying to get to Downs. Stratton picks it off, though. So 30 seconds left. North Penn will hold for last shot. They can move into a tie with Abington, or with a three-pointer can, of course, take the lead. They trail by 2, 20-18. It's going to be Pete Kristopa, 20 seconds on the clock. Now Hughes into the corner to McKenna. He'll reset to Stratton. 10 seconds now on the clock. Stratton with his back to the basket, gives it back to McKenna. He'll hold for last shot. 6, 5, 4, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Kristopa at the buzzer. No good off the rim. Thought he might have had that one. So North Penn will go back into the locker rooms, trailing by 2 to the Abington Ghosts, led by the ex-North Penn coach, Dave Torresani. So a little bit more offense in that second quarter, obviously, but the big key in this game so far has been Abington only having 3 team fouls. North Penn only getting 2 free throws at the line. I mean, what can you say? Abington has done a good job of playing tight defense, but clean defense in this first half.
Yeah, they've been able to pressure the ball, especially with the full court press, and they've created a few turnovers off of North Penn with that press. But for Abington, it's the bench. It's Dave Brooks, 6 points, and John Connor with 8 points that have saved Abington. Right now, Abington has 3 starters with a combined of 6 points, and the 14 points off the bench has given them a 2-point lead. For North Penn, just not a lot of scoring. Mike Hauser and Pete Kristopa both have 4, not shooting very well from the field, though. Jay Joseph has 5. The three-pointer not dropping for North Penn. The three-pointer hasn't been kind to Abington either. So we're just seeing a pretty sloppy game by both teams in terms of turnovers. And maybe in the second half we get a little more action from the three-point line and some better shooting.
So halftime is upon us here at North Penn High School. Abington Ghosts leading the North Penn Knights by a score of 20-18. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with second half action. And the end of this ball game, we'll be back after this on North Penn Television. Stay with us.
But you've got your own way of doing things. You're your own person. You don't need to follow the crowd or the rules. And the last people you want to be like are your parents.
Johnny, tell them what they want. wildfire. Over 2 million acres of our forests and rangelands burn each year. Hundreds of homes are destroyed, and it can take over 150,000 firefighters and $1 billion to bring the fires under control. Many of these fires are due to human carelessness, but it only takes one person to prevent it all. Be careful when visiting the wildlands. For more information, contact your local fire protection agency, state forestry office, or the USDA Forest Service.
Imagining what it feels like to be in a crash doing only 30 without your safety belt is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
What happens after a crash doing 30 with no safety belt?
A face-off.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
It's only a little motor oil.
What difference is one drop of paint going to make?
This much fertilizer isn't going to pollute anything.
You're looking at a sea of excuses, created drop by people like you and me. Our waters can be saved if each of us does their part. Drop by drop. If we all do a little, we can do a lot. Brought to you by the Natural Resources Defense Council, the EPA, and the Ad Councils of the U.S. and Japan.
Welcome back to North Penn High School, just getting set to start the second half of basketball action here at the high school gymnasium. North Penn trailing by 2, 20-18 the score, Abington in the lead. North Penn will inbound, moving from right to left in the second half. Riley muscles that ball away from Abington, but an errant pass by Hauser is picked off, and Abington will get an early turnover and come up on offense. Adam Kavanaugh will send it around.
That first play for North Penn is kind of like a little microcosm of the whole first half. They've turned the ball over and given up easy looks.
So here's Steve Downs, the co-captain for the Ghosts, playing with that stress fracture on his right foot. It's kind of slowed him down in the first half. So North Penn brings the ball up.
He only had 2 points. He was 1 for 5 from the field, which is not the normal Steve Downs.
Of course, Downs had 15 in Abington's 61-46 victory over Pennsbury on Tuesday. So definitely a different Steve Downs is. Of course, Downs was injured in that game against the Falcons. Ball circled down low to Hauser. Now Riley with the long jump shot. No good off the rim. Rebound, Kavanaugh. As Maurice Warren brings it up for the Ghosts.
Interesting stat for North Penn. Riley in for Brucker. Riley did not attempt a shot in the first half, so that's what they missed from that spot. As Steve Downs goes strong to the hoop, gets an easy 2 on a layup. But Mike Riley's filling in for John Brucker, but has to shoot the ball. They've gone to Brucker. He's been a go-to guy this year. They need to go to Riley.
Well, here's Pete Christopa in the corner. He'll go to the baseline drive, kicks it out nicely as Jay Joseph looks for some motion. Joseph now over to McKenna, the three-pointer. No good. North Penn, I believe, has only hit 1 3-pointer tonight, and that was Jay Joseph's early on in the first quarter. So a foul against North Penn. Mike Hauser, his first, the team's first, will result in Abington basketball. 22-18 the score. The Ghosts lead by 4.
North Penn is 1 of 10 for 3-pointers today, and you mentioned that one was by Jay Joseph. If you're not hitting it, you got to give it up, because it's really hurting them right now.
Dave Brooks threw the ball away on the inbound. North Penn basketball. McKenna will inbound for the Knights. Joseph, the long jump shot is no good. Warren looked like he took about 4 steps there. No travel called, and he does get his own rebound and the putback. Credit the basket to Warren, the 6'2 guard. And Abington back into the 6-point lead, 24-18, 5:50 to go in the third quarter. Joseph, the great look down low to Christopa, could not get it over the rim. So North Penn yet to score in the second half. Maurice Warren holding against McKenna.
Tough day for Pete Christopa, only 2 for 9.
Pretty layup right there by Steve Downs going to the reverse. 26-18 now.
Downs starting to pick it up here for Abington, 2 for 2 in the second half, and is really taking the ball hard to the basket, and it's caused a problem for North Penn.
McKenna the long three. Yes! 26-21 after McKenna nails that three-pointer. Just a bit over 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Abington leads by 5.
North Penn putting some pressure on Abington as they bring the ball up, looking maybe for some turnovers.
Maurice Warren will kick it back out to Dave Brooks. North Penn just settling in the 3-2 zone. As Downs can't find the rebound, or the original shot, North Penn can't find the rebound. Goes off of Hauser out of bounds. As John Connor, who was the franchise for the Ghosts in the first half, comes back in. I believe he had 8 points in that first half.
Well, he had 8 points, and Dave Brooks had 6, both off the bench. 14 points, that equals the exact amount of points they scored in the second quarter.
So an interesting stat there is bench points have been dominated by Abington, not getting a lot of scoring off of their starting 5. So the foul is called on Christopa as he went for the strip. Was it on the floor or in the air? It's on Christopa. That's his second, the team's second. As John Brucker has checked into the game for Mike Riley. So Brucker seeing his first action of the night.
I think a much-needed appearance here by Brucker. They need some strength and some aggressiveness underneath the boards, not just for rebounds, but Brucker is a force underneath the basket and drawing fouls and going to the line.
So Dave Brooks makes the first of his 2 free throws. A 6-point lead again for Abington. 27-21 is the score.
I look for North Penn to go to Brucker right away on the first possession, trying to establish his underneath skills.
Of course, Brucker is one of the better Knights on the court at drawing fouls. He'll drive the lane with reckless abandon, basically, and he'll get a lot of foul calls against the other team. And North Penn was only able to draw 3 team fouls against Abington in the first half. Hauser, the tough fadeaway, no good. Brucker going up for the rebound, can't get it. Abington will come back up court, leading by 7, 28-21. That's going to be a block foul on Mike McKenna as Maurice Warren drew that. That's his first foul, the team's 3rd in the second half. Abington will inbound near side right in front of us. John Connor will take it in for the Ghosts. Maurice Warren comes across midcourt against McKenna. Good spin move, the tough fadeaway, in and out. Rebound is up and in. Dave Brooks, Abington starting to control the boards at both ends of the court.
And that's probably why Coach Fergus went to Brucker, because Brucker's a tough guy on the rebound, as they're going to call timeout.
I think Jay Joseph's going to come back in after this timeout. So North Penn trailing by 9. That's Abington's largest lead of the game as North Penn takes its first full timeout. So Abington has come out with their guns smoking in this second half and have been pretty much controlling the boards. That's been the big key so far in this third quarter.
Well, in the third quarter, Abington's outscored North Penn 10-3. And it has been the rebounds. A couple easy baskets off the offensive boards and a couple of nice drives by Steve Downs as he starts to get going here in the third quarter. First 2 possessions for Abington, he went hard to the basket, found some easy layups that way. For North Penn, McKenna gets their only points of the second half with a real deep three-pointer. And they're 1 for 5 from the field.
Well, talking to Coach Fergus before the game tonight, he said that really Abington is one of the few teams in this area that plays the same type of basketball as North Penn. You know, tight defense, and Abington has really clamped down on the Knights. I mean, only 21 points on the board through 2.5 quarters. And Abington has done a nice job of playing, as I said right before halftime, not just tight defense, but clean defense. I mean, they have 3 team fouls, none in the second half already.
Well, it's just how Abington has got their 500 record, is playing tough defense. If their offense ever came up to play as tough, they'd be a great team.
Christopa went hard to the basket and can't get it. North Penn still only has 1 field goal in this third quarter, a 3-pointer by McKenna. As John Connor goes strong to the lane, gets it up and in. Now an 11-point lead, 32-21, as Abington is starting to pull away.
That puts Connor in the double digits with 10 points. A real strong performance off the bench.
Christopa to the baseline. Up and in with the layup. That's one of Christopa's better moves. He goes to that baseline drive a lot, and he's done it quite effectively this year for the Knights. McKenna pulls the rebound, is caught from behind. That foul will be on number 42, Steve Downs. That'll be his first.
We'd like to mention about John Connor. He's been inactive for the past 2 weeks. He's been ineligible, and this is the first game where he's got extensive action in a game situation.
So North Penn trailing by 9, 32-23. 2:50 on the clock in the third quarter. Brucker aggressive to the lane. Joseph pulls it away. McKenna for three. No good off the rim. That would have been huge. Brooks pulls the rebound for the Ghosts. And here comes Maurice Warren. He's doubled down by McKenna and Christopa, finding it wide open. Brooks can't find the scoop shot. Here comes Christopa, just keeping the ball in bounds. And he'll slow things up. Smart decision by the guard. Now it's Hauser for three. Yes! 32-26 on Hauser's tray. 2:15 on the clock, third quarter.
North Penn living on the three-point shot in the second half. They've hit two of them. That's keeping them in this game.
Strong to the lane is Connor, and he gets the basket. 34-26, Abington back up by 8.
Well, you can't expect to win if you're giving your opponent easy layups. They've had 3 easy layups in the second half.
Joseph draws the foul against number 24, Maurice Warren, his third, Abington's second in the second half, as Riley will come in. Who will he be replacing? John Brucker. So Brucker gets a couple minutes, unable to score. Just got into the mix of things for the Knights. Abington checks back in, both Downs and Hosel, so bringing a couple of their bigger men into the lineup. McKenna, the good look to Riley. That ball was partially blocked, but they're saying that Hosel, check that, Connor got some skin of Mike Riley. So on Connor's first foul, Abington's third, Riley will go to the line and shoot 2.
Riley's first free throw attempts of the night. And actually, North Penn's, he's only the second player for North Penn to go to the line tonight. John Jamison, the only other player.
Riley no good with the first. North Penn has to make free throws because they're going to be coming few and far between. So 0 for 2 at the line was Riley, but Hauser gets the rebound for the Knights. That's key. A minute 40 on the clock. Christopa will give it to McKenna. McKenna looking for a backdoor from Joseph. Couldn't find him, though. Joseph thought about the 3 against Connor, but won't take it. Gets a pick from Riley. Now Hauser for 3. No, off the rim. Pulled by Matt Hosel. Did a good job of boxing out Mike Riley. Minute 20 to go. Abington up by 8, 34-26 in the third quarter. Connor draws the foul. Who's that against? Pete Christopa, his third, the team's fourth. Justin Hughes will come in for Mike Hauser.
Tough outing here for Hauser. Not shooting too well tonight. A guy who played extensive minutes guarding Brian Scott of CB East.
Yeah, Hauser did a heck of a job against Brian Scott. As we mentioned at the top of the show, only holding him to 11 points. Scott, one of the best players in the area. Hauser put 6 of his own points on the board against East in North Penn's 2-point loss. Ball on the floor. It's a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Abington. They'll retain possession with a minute 6 to go, as Parentozzi also checked into the game for North Penn. Ball down low. Downs picks it up off the floor and puts it in. 36-26, a 10-point lead for the Ghosts.
Just under a minute to go here in the third quarter. North Penn has to put some points up on the board and give themselves some momentum into the fourth quarter.
You'd imagine North Penn would try to get a quick shot here and maybe get a 2-and-1 with Abington, but here comes McKenna. The tough shot in the lane, no good off the rim. Pulled down by Steve Downs.
That's McKenna's first non-3-point shot here in the second half.
Connor to the lane, a rocket pass to Downs, goes off of his chest and out of bounds. So North Penn with 29 seconds left in the third quarter will hold for a last shot. They trail by 10. Of course, North Penn had a chance to tie or take the lead in the ball game right before halftime, but Christopa missed his long three-pointer. Now it's Hughes, no good. Tough shot there by Hughes as Abington will push with 10 seconds to shoot. Ball goes right to Downs on the floor. Who picks it up? It's Hughes. Now he turns it over. Tough to the lane, no good. 1 second left. McKenna from way downtown. Well wide of the basket. Bad quarter for the Knights right there. They were outscored by 8 points. 36-26 is the score after 3. The Knights have their work cut out for them in the final quarter as we look at Coach Torresani and now Coach Fergus for the Knights.
Well, the third quarter was a story about defense. Abington plays pretty good defense as they only give up 8 points. And the North Penn defense maybe got a little lax. They gave up 16 points, highest output by either team in one quarter. The North Penn Knights is going to have to look maybe to bring John Brucker back into this game. Even though Coach Fergus may not want to, he's a guy who maybe can jumpstart this Knights team with some strong, aggressive play underneath the boards. And then you get the jump shot from maybe McKenna or Jay Joseph to really start a run.
Well, if my memory doesn't fail me, Jason, after 3 quarters here and after 3 quarters in the football game, I believe there are more points on the board in the football game against Abington than there are right now. 36-26 is the score. I'm pretty much sure that there are more points on the scoreboard at Crawford Stadium than there were here after 3 quarters. So not exactly your offensive explosion as we saw against Penn Ridge 2 weeks ago when the Knights dominated by 20 points, and even against CB West when both teams put up a respectable number of points on the board. So a low-scoring affair here tonight. A lot of turnovers and a lot of missed shots. So North Penn has to pull off a run here. They're going to have to outscore Abington by more than 10 if they're going to win this game as they trail by 10. 36-26 just underway in the fourth quarter.
The Knights start with the ball, and they're trying to work some motion offense to get an open jump shot. But I think now's the time you look for Jay Joseph to drive down the lane and maybe take over here for the Knights.
Parentozzi is still in the game for Christopa, who has 3 fouls. Now Joseph from the baseline for 3. Yes! Jay Joseph with a big three-pointer to start things off for the Knights. In the fourth and final quarter, they trail by 7 now, 36-29. Now a tough shot is short by Maurice Warren. Ball going out of bounds. Parentozzi saves it. It goes off of Abington's Ed Moore. North Penn basketball with 7:13 on the clock.
That was a good play last time down by Parentozzi, driving the lane, forces the Jay Joseph's man to come down on him, leaves Joseph open, good pass, and he hits the jump shot. North Penn has to be patient with their offense, just like they were last trip down, and just weather down this lead.
Tough call on Jay Joseph. He gets called for shuffling his feet, so a costly turnover for the Knights. Just over a minute into the final quarter, 36-29, Abington up by 7.
North Penn's been able to create some turnovers off inbounds. We'll see what happens off this one.
North Penn going to a modified full court press right there as John Connor will kick it back out. Warren against Joseph goes behind the back to the lane, high off the glass. Is he called for the charge? Yes, he was, and that is Maurice Warren's 4th foul. So North Penn will take over on Warren's 4th.
Well, Maurice Warren has been a pretty good contributor driving the lane hard, but he's only one of 8 from the field with 2 points. Been pretty tough on the boards, too.
The Blue Crew rising to their feet at North Penn High School Gymnasium as Joseph pulls up with a tough shot. Can't find it as Matt Holzel pulls for Abington. Abington calling for a timeout, and they get it. So North Penn trying to get the crowd on their side as they're going to need a lot of help. Down by 7, 6:20 on the clock. A 20-second timeout by the Ghosts with 6:22 on the clock in the final quarter. Possession arrow does favor Abington. Both teams have 2 fouls to give. Looking at foul trouble, Christopa has 3 for the Knights. Parentozzi and Riley both with 2. And of course, Maurice Warren, number 24 for Abington, has 4 fouls. I think he'll be coming out of the game after this timeout.
Well, you can't afford, I mean, even though he only put 2 points on the board, he's been a tough defender. He's created things on the offensive end. He's been rebounding well. He's a good leaper. You can't afford to lose him this early in the fourth quarter.
Well, they do just that as Adam Kabanoff, number 15, comes into the game to replace Warren. So Ed Moore now to work against Parentozzi with Christopa still on the bench with 3. Matt Holzel into the corner. Here's a 3-pointer. No good off the rim. Holzel grabs the rebound. He's been a force tonight on the boards. Incredible shot by Ed Moore, getting the kiss off the glass. 38-29, a 9-point lead for the Ghosts. 6 minutes to go as Christopa gets ready to check into the game for North Penn. Parentozzi loses control, gets it to Riley. Now Joseph to McKenna. McKenna now goes to the lane. Hughes for 3. No good. Connor pulls the rebound for the Ghosts. I don't know, Jason. I mean, I just see all these 3-pointers. They're really not shooting that well tonight. I just as soon see them come under the basket, get a couple layups, draw some fouls. And I don't know North Penn's going to change their game plan at all here. But they do get the ball back as Dave Brooks turns it over as Christopa and Hauser come into the game.
Well, in the Penridge game, we saw one time in that game they went to Mike Riley on the post with his back to the basket. He turned baseline and hit a fall-away jump shot, and we didn't see it the rest of the game. We haven't even seen them attempt to go to the post-up game with Riley today, and I think that's a mistake. I think he's a big guy with some nice touch on a jump shot. If he gets good position, it could be an easy shot for him.
So Parentozzi does stay in the game, so North Penn going with basically 3 guards right now. Parentozzi does get the screen, but Connor fights right through it. Here comes Christopa. He'll back out again. Parentozzi trying to run a give and go, can't. And now Christopa, the baseline drive, draws the foul on the floor against Ed Moore. That's Ed Moore's first, the team's 5th. So Abington with only 1 foul to give. Ted Stratton will come into the game for the Knights. And he's in for Mike Riley, so Riley will go to the bench. Pretty much ineffective night for Mike Riley, who did get the start for John Brucker. But North Penn still down by 9. McKenna thought about a 3. Now he'll go. Hauser, the reverse. No good. Stratton with the rebound. He gets the foul. So Stratton will go to the line and shoot 2 on the Abington foul. Foul is against Steve Downs, his 2nd. Abington 6. So North Penn will now be shooting 1-1 for the rest of the night. 38-29. They trail by 9. Free throws are now going to be a big key to the rest of this ball game.
Well, Ted Stratton brings to the table a couple of things similar to John Brucker. He's aggressive with his shot, especially when he's close to the basket, and he hits his first free throw.
So he closes the gap to just 8 points. Make that 7 as Stratton is 2 for 2 from the line. 38-31 is the score as Ed Moore dribbles up. Now Connor trapped in the corner. Christopa almost picks off that one. North Penn going to a really tight defense right now. More tough defense by Hauser. That'll be his 2nd, the team's 5th. Foul on the floor, so Abington will inbound. Jay Joseph now into the game, replacing Tom Parentozzi. So North Penn with 4 of its 5 starters out on the floor right now. Stratton is still in for Riley. Connor trying to inbound before the 5-second violation. Tough foul by Ted Stratton against Steve Downs. That's Stratton's 1st, North Penn 6th. So Abington will now be in the bonus for the rest of the game. North Penn still down by 7, 38-31. Another side court inbound for Abington's John Connor. Connor the lob. Here's Downs. Good strip by Hauser. 2-on-2 for the Knights if they hurry. McKenna to the lane, dish to Hauser, to the lane. He's called for the charge. Tough call against Hauser, his 3rd. Kabanoff did a nice job of getting into position there. but a tough call against Hauser.
I don't know. To me, it looked like Karbanoff was too far underneath the basket. I don't see how you make that call on Hauser. I say you either let it go or I say you let it go. I don't think it should be a foul either way.
Yeah, I mean, you see in the NBA now they have that new no charge zone underneath the basket where a player cannot just come over against a driving opponent and draw a charge. And that obviously would have been let go in the NBA, but this is high school basketball, so you can't complain. Halfway through the fourth quarter, 38-31 as Joseph steals. Will he jam? No. Blue Crew wanted a jam from Joseph. They're not going to get it as North Penn is still trailing. You might see that if they're up by 20, but Kristopa picks up the steal. 3-on-1 for the Knights. Joseph to the lane. Missed the layup. Hauser does get it, however. They trail by 5 now. Kristopa for 3. This is huge. No. Joseph pulls the rebound. The tough shot in the lane. No. The rim is just not in North Penn's favor, but Kristopa pulls another rebound. North Penn starting to work the glass. Hauser 2 head fakes. Now Stratton. Kristopa in the corner. Baseline drive. Fadeaway. No. And this time Kavanaugh pulls the rebound. So North Penn down on Abington's side of the court for a good 30-45 seconds, but can't find the basket. Abington turns it right over again as Ed Moore's pass could not find Dave Brooks before it went out of bounds as Maurice Warren with 4 fouls checks into the game for Ed Moore.
Well, it's really disappointing for the North Penn fans to have that many opportunities underneath the basket on the Abington side of the court and not come up with any points. It's encouraging, though, that they can rebound tough against Abington now.
Hauser in the corner gives it back to McKenna. 3 minutes on the clock. North Penn down by 5. McKenna for 3. No, in and out. Push-off foul. Is it against Stratton or Joseph? I'm not sure. And it is against Stratton. That'll be Ted's second foul, the team's 8th. So we'll walk to the other end of the court, and Abington will have a 1-and-1.
Well, that's kind of a bad foul. I mean, there was no need for that to give John Connor maybe 2 looks here at a free throw. Connor tonight is 2 for 3 from the free throw line, and we'll see what happens this 1-and-1.
So Abington up by 5 with the lefty Connor at the line with 1-and-1. North Penn has to box out here, and they don't. Hauser was busy tying his shoe, and Kavanaugh picked up the rebound.
Abington maybe looking to run some clock off.
Connor is stuck in the corner against Hauser. He'll circle back out. Now it's Warren with 4 fouls, doubled down. Sends it over to Kavanaugh. Now Warren top of the key. Yes! 40-33, Abington by 7, 2:20 on the clock.
That's Warren's first field goal of the second half. He's 1 for 6.
Here's Stratton to the lane. Now it's Kristopa. Thought about a 3, passed up on it. So North Penn still running the perimeter offense as McKenna misses a long 3-pointer. North Penn not getting the offensive rebounds as Steve Downs pulls it for the Ghosts. Abington will call timeout. John Connor picks up that call for the Ghosts. 1:55 on the clock. 40-33, Abington in the lead. North Penn might have to start going to the intentional fouls here.
We talked about Kristopa not shooting that 3. He looks at it. McKenna looks at him, and they pull down. They're 1 for 13 combined in this game from the 3-point line. It's just been a really bad night shooting for North Penn, and I think you got to stop shooting it. 1 for 13 is not a good percentage, and I think now's a good time to look for Brucker to come back in this game. Or Riley, one of the two they've got to go underneath to the basket. Get some easy looks for this, for the Knights, because no one is shooting the ball extremely well for North Penn.
Well, Brucker has taken off that warm-up top. We'll see if he comes back in. No, he won't. He'll take another seat on the bench. So North Penn sticks with the same group of players it had before the timeout: Stratton, McKenna, Kristopa, Joseph, and Hauser. And Abington will send back out its 5. Connor, Warren, Brooks, Kavanaugh, and Downs. So with a $1:55 on the clock, it's 40-33 Abington. Both teams in the bonus. Warren has 4 fouls. Kristopa has 3, as does Hauser. That's a backcourt violation Maurice Warren did not check his feet there. He had one in his backcourt, one in the front court. So a costly turnover for Abington. North Penn has to get something going now with 1:50.
Well, it's only costly if North Penn makes them pay for it. So let's see what happens here on this half-court set. Joseph's going to get a good look.
Gets it partially blocked, but Kristopa gets the rebound and the layup. So 40-35, North Penn down by 5. Will they go to fouls? Not yet, as Warren comes across midcourt. Kabanoff now. And Warren, he'll hold it midcourt. Kabanoff circling back. McKenna only has one foul. He knocks it out of bounds. North Penn basketball, they trail by 5. Good play by McKenna on that defensive series.
Abington's starting to feel a little bit of pressure here. North Penn's going to call timeout. Last two possessions for Abington have been unforced turnovers. The backcourt violation on Warren, and there Karbanoff dribbles it out of bounds. North Penn making a little bit of a run. We can't make it an official run yet, but the pressure's starting to get to Abington. We'll see. North Penn's got to make them pay right now. They've got to get down and score 2 points. They've got to take their time. There's 1:21 left. They're only down by 5. They must score on this possession.
Definitely. 1:21, as you said, on the clock. 40-35 the score. Both teams in the bonus. Possession arrow favoring Abington. That rarely comes into play, but you never know when there's going to be a jump ball. So North Penn has its work cut out for them. 40-35. They might score the quick basket here, go to the intentional foul. And really, I mean, Abington hasn't had that many trips to the line. Neither team has in this game. Of course, Brooks and Connor have both been to the line in the second half for Abington. Connor missed the first end of a 1-and-1.
Well, when you talk about free throws, North Penn is 3 for 5 from the free throw line. And Abington's 4 for 6, so neither team getting there a lot. But we'll see which one of them turns the bonus into a positive for their team.
So Kabanoff, after that turnover, takes a seat on the benches. Number 30, Ed Moore, comes in. Hauser loses the basketball. Here comes Brooks. He makes the layup. That's a killer set of points for Abington and a very costly turnover for Hauser.
Well, North Penn can't be too concerned with that. There's a minute left. They need to run their offense, get some good looks, and score some points. They can't waste opportunities now.
Hauser almost turns it over again, gets it back. Draws the foul, so he will go to the line shooting 2. Who's that foul against? That's against number 42, Steve Downs, his 3rd. Abington is over the limit, so Hauser with 2 crucial free throws for the Knights.
Well, if North Penn wants to target some foul trouble, you want to go to Downs with 3. Or more importantly, I think you go at Maurice Warren. He has 4 fouls. Whoever's guarding, or whoever Maurice Warren is guarding, maybe you go to the post-up game with them and try and draw that foul, because him fouling out may get some momentum for North Penn.
Hauser missed the first, so North Penn still trails by 7. Hauser makes this, it could be a 2-possession ball game.
Well, 2-possession if you can hit the 3-pointer, which we haven't been too good at.
So Hauser does make it, making the score 42-34. McKenna quickly did the intentional foul against Maurice Warren. McKenna's 2nd, North Penn's 9th. So they have 1 foul to give before the double bonus, so this is the last chance for Abington's in a 1-and-1. 48.8 seconds on the clock in the final quarter, as Warren will go to the line and shoot a 1-and-1.
Maurice Warren has no trips to the free throw line tonight, but has shot pretty bad in the field.
Warren is good on the first, so he will get another. Warren did score 12 points against Pennsbury on Tuesday. He only has 5 tonight. Warren no good, but a rebound on that play by John Connor. North Penn just has to box out on those free throws. That's a fundamental right there.
Well, that's the second one tonight that's cost them offensive rebounds by Abington after free throws.
And more importantly, clock time. As the clock continues to run, McKenna's going to have to foul Connor. That'll be Mike's 3rd foul. Will now be 2 shots as Abington is in the double bonus. They can feel a win in the near future.
Connor 2 for 4 from the free throw line tonight. North Penn's going to call timeout again. With 36 seconds to go, they're down by 7. Worst case, Connor hits both. That's 9. So at the least for North Penn, it's 3 possessions if they hit 3 threes.
So a pretty desperate situation for the Knights right now. 36.3 seconds to go. trailing by 7, could be trailing by 9 after these free throws by Connor. So the Knights have their work cut out for them. And this is going to be tough to come back right now.
Well, I think these games where North Penn plays teams that are around 500 are even more important than playing the CB Wests and the PWs, because a lot of people don't count them in those PW games, and these are the games that North Penn's supposed to win. These are the games that could get them in the playoffs. Now, 32 teams get in, and this year a lot of around 500 teams are going to get into the tournament. North Penn needs these wins against the 500 clubs to get in.
So Connor misses the first. So at worst, it will be an 8-point lead coming out of this for the Knights. Right now it's 43-26, 36 seconds on the clock. 44-36 now, 8-point lead. McKenna will quickly bring it up now. Joseph. North Penn needs to get a quick shot. Joseph gets a pick. Now Hauser in the corner. Won't take the three. Now Christopa, long-range three. No good off the rim. Uncontested rebound for Steve Downs. This one appears to be over as Stratton picks up his third foul. Maurice Warren will go to the line and shoot two.
Well, this has got to be a tough loss here for North Penn. In for most of the game. Fourth quarter, they lose a little bit of control. They don't convert on easy looks on the offensive end. They send Abington the line, and Abington's come up pretty big on the free throw line tonight.
Yeah, especially in the late going here, obviously, getting a couple of the intentional fouls that go to the line, and they pretty much connected on all of them. This one appears to be over as the score is 45-36 after Connor misses that second one. 15 seconds to go as this place is pretty much quieted. Hauser from NBA range, no good. Stratton with the rebound and the putback, so North Penn does get 2 more points on the board. They trail by 7 now, 6.1 seconds left. So this one, as we don't like to say it, but this one is pretty much over. 6.1 seconds, fourth quarter, 45-38, Abington in the lead. So North Penn will now have a 3-game losing streak after dropping one to CB West last Friday, losing a tough 2-point decision to CB East on a buzzer beater layup by Brian Scott. And now they're going to drop this one to Abington, 45-38. It just seemed to me tonight, Jason, it was turnovers that plagued the Knights for the better part of this ballgame. And more often than not, when they pick up a turnover from Abington, as we said before, they're just going to give it right back to them without scoring. And that's where the term costly turnovers come from. It's not costly if the other team doesn't score. And that's been North Penn's story of the game so far.
Well, taking a look at Abington's quarter scoring, it's the middle 2 quarters that really plagued North Penn, giving up 30 points in the middle quarters. Holding Abington to 45 points is good. 45 points is low scoring for high school, but 30 points came in those middle 2 quarters. Abington really was able to pull away, as North Penn was only able to put up 21 in the middle 2.
Yeah, you have to look at that slow start by both teams as also being a factor in this game. 6-5 after 1 quarter. And that's really just a tough thing on North Penn. That foul's on Pete Christopa, his 4th. So once again, we'll walk to the other end of the court. Abington with a chance to make 2 more free throws. It'll be Maurice Warren.
Well, having this loss really puts a lot of pressure on North Penn for the rest of the season. They got a couple of tough games coming up. Council Rock, and those games are going to be more and more important if they want to make a playoff run for District 1.
So Warren makes his second free throw. Score is now 47-38. Christopa for 3 at the buzzer, airballs it, and that'll wrap up this game here at North Penn High School. Coach Torresani and Fergus shake hands with each other. 47-38, the final score. Abington by 9. So a tough loss for North Penn as they will now fall to 9-10. Abington will up their record to 10-9. So both teams are still in the playoff hunt nonetheless. North Penn is going to have to pull off, I would imagine, winning at least 2/3 of their games for the rest of the season if they want to solidify a playoff spot.
And even at that, they're going to be a pretty low seed in the tournament, which could be tough for them as well.
Of course, first 2-3 weeks of the District 1 playoffs, the higher seed does have a home game, and You have a bunch of rabid fans like North Penn does in the Blue Crew. That can be a factor, and we've seen that. I mean, even the highlight reel we showed at the top of the show, the crowd was a huge factor in that game against Abington as North Penn soundly defeated them. Let's take a look at some final stats, Chase.
Well, for Abington, it's the bench. The bench of John Connor and Dave Brooks, who just, I think, in the second and in the middle 2 quarters took over this game. Combined, they had 25 points. Connor with 13, Brooks with 12. Steve Downs, who had a horrible first half, comes back very strong, 3 for 5 in the field in the second, finishes with 8 points for Abington. And Warren comes back pretty strong on the free throw line in the second half and gives them 7. For North Penn, Jay Joseph puts in 10 more points. And Hauser comes up with 8 and Christopa with 8. But the story with North Penn is hard 3-point shooting, as Christopa goes 0 for 8, and McKenna goes 1 for 7. And we mentioned you just can't continue to shoot the 3-pointer when you're not hitting it. Limited action for Brucker, disciplinary action, no inside game with Riley or Stratton, and equals a North Penn loss.
Yeah, well, the old saying is you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Tonight, the sword for North Penn was the 3-pointer, and they really cut themselves with that sword. Definitely a double-edged sword, that 3-pointer. If you don't make it, it's going to burn you. That's going to wrap up our coverage here from North Penn High School. Glad he could join us for this one. North Penn takes it on the chin tonight from Dave Torresani, the ex-North Penn coach, and the Abington Ghosts. Thanks for joining us, everybody. For Jason Payne, I'm Kyle Berger. So long.